Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to our daily creative challenge. I'm Kathleen. It's good to have you here. I'm an illustrator and designer here at Adobe, and I'll be taking you through today's theme. Let's say hello to some people in chat. We've already been chatting a little bit. Atif is here. Fern, what's up? Esther, hello, Felicia. The crew, the core crew is here. Super awesome to see you guys all hanging out. As you know, today's theme was musical instrument. I'm the conductor, apparently. Who gave me this job? I'm not sure. What's up, Sandra? This is my symphony. You are all playing your beautiful instruments, and hopefully by the end of this stream, I'll also have a beautiful instrument to show you. What's up, Daniel? Thanks for being here. If you want to come hang out with us after the stream, a great place to do that is on our Slack channel. I know a lot of you are already there, but if you want to join, it is bit.ly/dailychallenge/slack. It's an awesome chat room where we can chat about inspiration, different technical issues we're having. You can also get feedback, which is really amazing. You can see this super cool piece that Esther has been working on all day today, but we will talk about that later. Ed said that he's gonna work on, oh, he made it, cool. So he was saying that he was going to trace and work on tracing this guitar, and it looks like he did. Nice job, Ed. So if you want to come hang out, bit.ly/dailychallenge/slack is the way to go. Hey Desiree, welcome. Thanks for being here. So if this is your first time watching the live stream, maybe you're taking part in the challenge, but this is your first time watching, let me know. I'd love to say hello to you. So let's jump into Illustrator, and then after we work on our asset for today, we will export it, upload it to Behance like we always do, update our projects, and then we'll talk about some of your work. There's quite a few pieces today that I want to cover. Munir's here. What's up, Munir? How you doing? Joanna's here, or Joanna. Hello. All right, so today's theme was musical instrument, and this is the illustration that, whoops, well, that was the illustration that was for today. So that was the inspiration. Now I want to recreate this, but then add a little bit of flair to it. Sound good? So this is actually what we're going to be creating. We're going to be adding some texture with brushes, brush strokes, and also playing a little bit with color. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to lock this layer. I've already dropped the opacity, you can see here. This is a great way of kind of working from reference. If you want to bring something in, drop the opacity, and then lock it. Now it is a template, now I can't move it. All right, so let's go in. And I already skipped over this because we've done it many times, but if you do want to make a new document in Illustrator, this is what you will see. New document window. We're going to pick something from the web tab. One of these, because when we export this, that means it'll be a good size for Behance. We don't want it to be too big or too small. Esther, yeah, no piano. No piano today. I wanted to show how you could take something really simple and jazz it up a little bit. No pun intended. What's up, Tackle Boys? Hello. CD is here. Miss Robin is here. Good to have you. Vicus. And Martin, did I already say hello to you? Hello, Martin. All right, so let's go in. So I'm going to use my ellipse tool. Like you can see on the screen, I tapped L, that's the hotkey. It's over here, as we know. A lot of the building of this shape, of this instrument, is going to be stuff that we've already covered. So I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. Awesome, I made my ellipse. Let's go down to the bottom. You can probably guess that we might be using a little bit of Pathfinder, maybe a little bit of Shape Builder. Ooh, Miss Robin, you did voice. Nice. Desiree made a trombone in honor of your son. He plays for his school. That's awesome. Has he seen it yet? Alrighty, let's make this final little circle. Perfect circle, so I'm holding Option and Shift. Now let's make the neck. I'm gonna go back to my rectangle tool. You could tap M or go into your menu. Here we go. And you might notice that shapes aren't, whoa, perfectly lined up with each other. I'll show you how to align your shapes in just a bit. And, whoops. Let's drag out another rectangle. Felicia says, I like the piano and can play Mary Had a Little Lamb, so I thought, why not? That's awesome. Piano is the only instrument I know how to play. Hey, Rob, how you doing? All right, and we're gonna jump into our rounded rectangle tool. We've used this many times. We're gonna use our smart corners to round it out to mimic the shape on this guitar. Awesome, so I have my shape, but as you can see, I'm zooming in with plus and command. Like right here and right here, it's not perfectly lined up. So let's just select our entire shape. Whoops. And as you can see over in our properties panel over here on the right, it automatically brings up the align options. I'm going to click more options just so we can see them all. There's quite a few for you to play with. Say we did that. Don't really want that. Oops. Let's do align objects, horizontal, align center. And you can see it nudged them all to be in line. We've covered this in a past show, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a refresher. Hey Bruce, welcome. Esther, you started with the guitar and then made the harp and piano. You just couldn't be stopped. All right, so let's join this guitar body. I'm gonna select both of my shapes. You can see when I did that, my properties panel changed a little bit. Some of them disappeared, some new ones appeared. And let's just do our simple Pathfinder Unite option. Boom. We have our guitar body head. What do you guitar players call it? And I think that's all we need to do as far as Pathfinder goes. Now, if I were to start dropping in colors, you might notice that there's a little bit of a problem with how these are layered. I'll just drop the colors in correctly so I can show you what I mean. I already have these colors picked previously, but you can see also over here in the swatches menu that I have them saved in a new swatch folder, just in case. So you'll notice here that this, the fretboard, I guess you would call it, overlaps this, which is not what we want. We can see over here in my sample that this blue circle is actually on top. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna use one of our hotkeys, or we can go to Arrange and Bring to Front. These are so handy. I use these all the time. Command bracket right, bracket left, Shift Command bracket right, bracket left. So we're gonna do Bring to Front, and you can see that brings this shape to the very front of the composition. Illustrator is really just collaging shapes on top of each other. So if you think about it in that way, you should be good to go. All right, we have our guitar. I'm gonna get this guy out of the way. Everybody following along? Bet you all already submitted your pieces, so you're just relaxing, hanging out. Maybe you've got your tea. Randy wants to know, what are my thoughts on Astute plugins? They're awesome and very powerful. You can do all kinds of things, especially in Illustrator. I really love the Astute plugins for Illustrator because it makes it feel more like Photoshop to me. Makes it easier to add textures, draw more intuitively. Desiree uses Illustrator to escape into the Vectorverse. Okay, so let's jazz this guitar up a little bit. The first thing we're going to do is add a couple strings. I'm just using the hotkey of the backwards slash. That brings me to the line segment tool. You can see it over here in my menu bar. Atif says, I love expressing something through my art. Well, Atif, actually before the stream went live, Michael and I were listening to your character animation that you submitted for Adobe Live today. It was awesome. Very nice voice. All right, so here's my string. Now I'm just gonna grab this, hold Option and Shift, and it's going to make a duplicate of it. If we were to add a stroke, which I'll do right now, bump up the width a little bit. You'll see it up here. Illustrator. giving me a hard time right now. There we go. Let's bump up the stroke. All right, I'm gonna grab this middle one, I'll hold Option and Shift. And my smart guides are kind of telling me when this is totally equidistant apart. Kind of snaps it for me, which is really nice. Ooh, Glenn, I'm glad you found that helpful when I said Illustrator is really just collaging shapes on top of each other. It's a game changer. I agree. All right, so we have our strings. I know guitars usually don't have 3 strings, but this is Illustrator. This is our vector verse. You can do whatever you'd like. But even with these strings, it's still a little flat. I want to add a little texture, and that is where our brushes come in. You can see I have this panel open right here, all of these artistic brushes. So fun. These come with Illustrator. So all you're going to do is you're going to select one of your shapes that has a stroke. These affect the stroke of your shape. And you can load different libraries. We'll talk about a couple different ones, but for now we're going to use these artistic paint brushes. And if you don't see this, just make sure you have your brushes panel open. All right, so I have one of my strings selected. Let's play with a couple of these. You'll see when I click dry brush 3, that's what happens. That's nice too. Let's zoom out a little bit to get the full feeling. I want something thin, not too gritty, because I want it to still be clear that it's a string. I kind of like that. That looks good. All right, and let's select the other 2 now that we have it selected, our string option selected. There we go. Now if we want to thin this out, it is just a stroke, so you can decrease the stroke size. Select all of our strings and bump down our stroke a little bit. You can see me doing that over here in my properties panel. Let's do 0.5 seems good. Cool, so now that I've added a little texture on the strings, now the rest of the piece seems a little disjointed because this is the only thing that has texture on it. So let's add texture to the rest of it. All right, let's do this part first. We're gonna pick a nice kind of gritty texture for up here. Although I don't like how the rest of the guitar is very circular and round, but this top is kind of angular. So I'm gonna grab these corners, round them out a bit. Perfect. Let's do the same thing down here. Let's grab one of these textures. Make sure that we have the correct colors selected. Ooh, I kind of like that. This is the only place that we have this green, so maybe it would be good to put it down here. Interesting. Nate says, stay thrifty, Kathleen. Thank you. Nate, you know of my love for thrift stores. All right, let's pick this. Make sure the stroke is selected. Pick a stroke for it. Perfect. And when it comes to this part, as you can see over here, I did something a little more interesting. I went exploring through all of my other brush libraries. And I think I went into the borders. Let's see, let's explore a bit. Maybe a nice checkered flag guitar could be fun. That's fun. So much of this is just fun, you know? Keep looking. I actually really liked this one and this one. It's pretty cool. But ultimately, I landed on this one. Has a nice flair to it, I think. Glenn says it's the only way to shop. I totally agree. My outfit, 100% thrifted. What's up, Thomas? All right, so let's add the finishing touch of these little peg boards. Pegs? Is that what they're called? Guitar people. Please tell me. I'm gonna grab this shape from my example. I'm just gonna make a copy or a duplicate by holding Option when I'm dragging. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Zooming in, I'm gonna make it a little bit shorter and maybe decrease the stroke a little bit. Because it's already so small, we don't need that big of a stroke. All right, holding down Option, clicking, dragging, perfect. Holding down Shift, selecting both. Holding down Option again, clicking, dragging. Bumping it with my arrow keys and boom. Pretty sure we just made a really fancy guitar. Can Adobe Capture get used to make brushes and textures for Illustrator? Yes, Glenn, it totally can. I actually was thinking about showing you all Capture today. It's a mobile app, it's free, you can use it on your Android and Apple devices, and you can make brushes, textures, patterns that you can then send to your Creative Cloud desktop apps. Really fun, you should play with it. I love making brushes. You can even use the brushes with other mobile apps like Photoshop Sketch and Adobe Draw. Alrighty, so we have our asset. That was pretty quick, I know. Probably the quickest one we've made so far. But let's click and highlight, make sure all of our pieces are selected, and let's get this exported so that we can upload it to Behance. Alright, I'm gonna right click, export selection down here at the bottom, boom. We will have our export for screens menu appear. Let's name this Guitar with an R. Make sure that it is in our Daily Creative Challenge folder. Yes, look how much this folder has filled out. Just in the last week and a half. By the way, everyone, did you know tomorrow is our last Daily Creative Challenge for now? You gotta make sure that you get your themes in tomorrow morning in the mail, get your work done, and then come hang out for the last stream, at least for this 2-week challenge. Alright, so we have our scales set. We want it to be a JPEG. Cool. Export asset. It's that easy. Desiree says Capture is awesome. Yes! A fellow mobile app lover. Alright, let's find our guitar. Make sure it looks good. Cute! I love this pattern. So fun. It's very earthy color scheme I have going on. If you'll remember, this is the fish from yesterday. Also very fun. Where the pegs fit is called the bridge. Thank you, CD. I appreciate it. Alright, so we have our asset exported. We are on Behance. By the way, if you want to check out everyone else's projects, like I've been doing for the last week and a half, looking through all of them every day because they're awesome, go to bit.ly/dailychallengegallery. That will take you to this page, which is basically just all of the projects sorted by the keyword, which is Daily Creative Challenge. We will be, you can see that here. We'll be making sure that that is in my project, because we want to make sure that my project shows up in the gallery, as do you. Esther says, I don't want the challenge to end. Me neither, Esther. I'm gonna miss you all. Well, we're not really going anywhere, but. All right, so we have my project. You can see my portfolio is here. If you've never used Behance before and have no idea what it is, you can make an account super quickly by using your Google or your Facebook or even your Adobe ID if you already have Creative Cloud. Really easy to make an account, totally free, and then you can have a beautiful portfolio. By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but if you have a Behance portfolio and also a CC subscription, you can use Adobe Portfolio, which turns your Behance portfolio or profile into a really beautiful creative portfolio, this is mine. I use this professionally. It's really awesome, and it's included in my CC subscription. All right, back to the challenge. I have my Daily Creative Challenge here. You can see if I hover over this button right here, I'm gonna click Edit. It'll take me into the project editor. Martin says, Esther, you should run your own challenge. Yes, everyone make their own challenge. Make it a gauntlet, creative gauntlet. All right, scrolling all the way down to the bottom, I'm gonna upload, click the upwards arrow. Go to my Daily Creative Challenge folder, click guitar, wherever it is. There it is, at the top, obviously. And this is day 8. That's wild. Let's do day, turn off Keycaster. Day number 8. Let's see, what should the info be? I usually make these up on the fly. Guitar. An instrument of untold power. That doesn't really make sense, but it's art, so I get to do what I want, right? All right, so we have our definition of what our project is. We have our image uploaded. Now let's go over to our settings just to make sure that our keyword is correct. In the Discoverability tab, you'll notice that in my keyword, Daily Creative Challenge. That's what you do if you want to be a part of the challenge. That's the only way that we can all see your work. All All right, I'm gonna save. It's saved. Let's go to my portfolio again, click on the project and scroll all the way down to the bottom. This is like taking a walk through memory lane. Look at all these projects we did together. I'm wondering which your favorite projects were. I think Mango was really fun. All right, and there's the guitar, an instrument of untold power. So ominous, Kathleen. What's the deal? Cool, so that's my project, and if you want to check that out, you can see my username right up here, behance.net/Kathleen_Adobe. Now let's talk about some of your work. I wonder if Paul is in the chat. I don't know if I've seen Paul around before. It looks like they just made their project today, which is crazy, so cool. This is Paul's trumpet. And something I really like about this one is the use of texture. Using textures in Illustrator, it's easy, but it's not super intuitive. So nice job, Paul. Yes, Atif, daily creative challenge without the space. That should be its own song, a little jingle. Ooh, Glenn, you liked Cityscape the most? I think a lot of you really pushed your limits with the Cityscape. It was awesome. But something else I really love about this piece is it has very subtle details that make it more believable as an illustration. You'll notice right here, this really subtle, lighter purple shadow that also falls here and here and here. The use of these highlights, they're not white, they can't be because the object is white. So using other colors from the color scheme to denote shadows and highlights is really, really nice. So good job, Paul. Let's check out Paul's portfolio, see if there's anything else. So it looks like Paul knows his way around Illustrator. No surprise there. We'll give this an appreciate because it's really nice work. No comments yet, so everyone go to Paul's Behance, give him some comments on his project. Love the texture. I'm a fiend for texture, which is probably obvious if you've seen my illustrations before. All right, yeah, Atif, I agree, the texture really makes the trumpet appealing. Nice. On to Robert's work. Robert, are you here? Let us know in chat. This is so beautiful. It seems like Robert maybe started a little late, just a couple days ago, and Robert, you've really filled out your project so far, so that's really, really cool to see you working so quickly. So let's just give a little preview. This is my favorite food in the entire world, so obviously I love that. But favorite foods aside, let's talk about his musical instrument. Anyone in chat know what this is? Let me know. Educate me. I'm tempted to say, not lute, maybe lyre? I'm not sure. Something fantastical. But I think that this is a really simple construction. Obviously, these are just flat shapes, a flat kind of ovular shape, a more rectilinear shape, some circles, some ellipses. But the use of these really subtle gradients like up here, and also just the perspective of the piece makes it much more representational and realistic. Also a nice use of a subtle pattern. Kind of goes the extra distance, and for such a simple shape, it's really sophisticated, I guess I would say. Let's see if there's any comments down here for Robert. Ooh, nice. Me. Did you use the blend tool for the camping illustration? Michael says nice. Robert says, oh, I was correct. Good eye. Used it on the logs as well as the puppet warp. So let's go see what he was talking about. In his camping illustration, I noticed this little piece and thought he probably used the blend tool, which I don't know if we're going to cover, but you should definitely check it out. It's a really cool tool. Nice job, Robert. Really, really good to see your work. Mandolin? Yeah, maybe Thomas. Oh, it's a lute. Okay, Esther, thanks. It's a kind. The oud is a short neck loop type. Okay, Mohammed, thanks. All right, this is Iron Buddha. Cool name, first and foremost. Gonna work out my Illustrator muscles and get a few tips along the way. I'm a couple days behind, but I'll try to backfill the days I missed. Right on, Iron Buddha, you can do it. So let's scroll all the way down to the bottom for musical instrument. And this is cool and slightly disturbing. Really nice. Who's gonna win? I think this guy, the Kraken. So this is the Iron Buddha's musical instrument. My favorite musical instruments are, without a doubt, synthesizers, especially analog ones. And I think what I was really attracted to about this piece was that it looks like an asset that could be used in a video game or some sort of simulator. Like when I first saw this, I immediately wanted to actually click the buttons and turn the knobs. It's a really nicely laid out interface. Very clean, simple. I think it belongs in a video game. Let's see if there's any comments down here. I'm in love with your space-themed illustration. Nice job all the way through. Heck yeah. Nice job, Iron Buddha. Appreciated. Yeah, Desiree, undersea battle. Man. Oh, Esther, Robert already said it was a loot. Thank you for picking up that detail. Appreciate it. Esther, speaking of you, we're gonna look at some of your work. So, Esther shows up here that I believe this is an illustration that you created a while ago, the guitar with this really, really elaborate pattern. And you show how'd you combine them, you added some shadow and then some chroma color. But then you went the extra mile today and you took the same technique, I'm assuming, and created a harp and also a piano, both of which are lovely. You say, I love playing the guitar and I love to sing, but I didn't think a microphone counted as a musical instrument. Your voice is the instrument. So you designed the guitar of your dreams and then you decided to create a harp and a piano to go along with the guitar. Just really went the extra mile for a 3-piece set. Yeah, right, Robin? Wow, I agree. So Esther, I think that this piano just really catches my eye. Not that the others don't, but the subtle use of this pattern, it's not all over, it's just on the side. It's really nice. This rim lighting here, very subtle kind of gradient. And also the use of these shadows really has like a polished wood feel. Nice job on this ethereal piano, harp, and guitar. Great job, Esther. Thank you. I know, Thomas, they are so cool. All right, Sandra, I believe you're in chat. These are really cool. These are maracas, right? I think that there's two things that I really liked about this piece. One was the use of pattern. I love these simple patterns. They're almost just hinting at a pattern that might even be more complex if it were a real item. But really, really nice. Good color palette too. Kind of reminds me of the guitar I made. So maybe I was inspired by your colors. And then also, Sandra, I really love how you used shadow and gradient to denote form. You really fleshed out these tools to make it look like a 3D object. These could totally be 3D. They could be polygonal shapes. So that is really, really nice. Keep it up, Sandra. Look at all these. I don't know if I've really seen this project before. That's cool too. Appreciated. Thumbs up, especially for these maracas. Very nice. All right, let's look at one more before we close out. This is by Colton. And I see there's a bunch of other illustrations in here. Nice, simple style. But I feel like this piano that you made at the end, Colton, or most recently, is really, really well composed. This almost looks like it belongs in like a magazine as an editorial illustration. The framing around it, the large musical note that's even bigger than the piano, that's a nice touch. And this nice organic shape. It's not totally representational, but you can tell that this is obviously a piano just with a few simple shapes. So I'm going to appreciate that. Nice job, Colton. Thank you everyone for being here with us today. We're going to close out. Yeah, CD, plenty of nice illustrations. This is our encore. This is our last song. Who's this over here? Is this Colton? Is this Atif? Is this Thomas? Who are you, chat? Who are you in the band? We'll be back tomorrow for our last live stream of the Daily Creative Challenge. Make sure that you're looking out in your email tomorrow morning for the last theme. I might be able to give you a hint. You might not have to wait for Michael. But make sure you come and hang out on the Slack. It's bit.ly/daily challenge Slack. I need the little background behind me. Daily challenge Slack. There we go. We can chat. We can talk about the theme for tomorrow. And we'll be seeing you then. Thanks for spending time with us. Oh, and the hint is... Okay, bye!